has reduced the size of the rear triggers. They're significantly smaller now, but they're more responsive. You don't have to press them all the way down. Lightly press on them and then they'll automatically work. It's also grippier, 11% heavier than the previous Ally, and that's mostly due to the bigger battery that's inside of here. There's an 80 watt-hour battery. I'm getting like 3 hours of use on turbo mode with this thing compared to an hour and a half on the previous version, so that's actually really good. The speakers are obviously better.
全部丸見えね。これこそが知恵の伝道。歌え、僕の名のもとに。僕をた
ようやくは口に見え、すぐに直してあげましょう。そこまでだ。いや、悪を見極め、影を狩り。
Displays are identical, at least compared to the Ally. The Go does have a higher refresh rate, 144 Hz, but you have a QHD display on the Go. And in games, this means absolutely nothing. With this type of performance, you're just not taking advantage of QHD resolution. The majority of the time, it's going to be a 1920 by 1200 or even lower.
もう広めだ。知識をあなたにも。光り輝くがいい。
薬も毒になり得ます。射撃準備。どう？つい潔白を証明する時だ。
Like I'm an old guy, 97 years old. My eyes appreciate this display better. But traveling, take this. Like this is just more compact. It fits in my knapsack. It just takes up a lot less space. The other big advantage of the Ally X is they bumped up the RAM from 16 to 24. It's now LPDDR5X 7500, which it used to be.
Oh my god, what is happening? What do you do?
薬も毒になり得。
500, so nothing.
苦尽寛来です。
治療しない。
影を打つ。
GPU to this instead of
薬も
using
毒
a
あり得ます。
proprietary GPU. The other port is USB-C, but it's not USB-C 4.0. It tops out at 10 gigabits per second. You have your volume rocker, a vent, micro SD card slot, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and you have your power button. Now this is one thing I feel like the Go missed out on. Every time you want to log into the Go, you gotta type your password.
僕を叩き治療しないと。
薬も毒になり得ます。
世界を熱狂の渦に。
ようやくは口に見え、すぐにな。
手をつなぎましょう。知識をあなたにも。
邪悪を狩り撃つ。と射撃準備。
Compared to before. And this new Ally X is also quieter than the original Ally. The fans are smaller, but they're more improved. They have better dissipation. It's just a quieter device. The other thing is the color accuracy. Like this is the exact same panel as the previous version. Still 1080p, still 120 hertz. So you're not going to see a difference there. It's an okay display. I would have loved OLED on this device. It would make games look so much better, but I feel like if they did that, they'd probably jack up the price. Now, performance is where things get very interesting. They're both using the AMD Z1 Extreme.
薬も毒になり得ます。
手をつなぎましょう。
tested due to all these software updates. Now, is it faster than the Ally X? No. The Ally X performed the best compared to all three devices that I tested. It just sat at the top.
全部丸見え。光り輝くがいい。じゃじゃーん。
争点。
But all the other ones. What I think to note is that in most games I've played, the Ally X was always on top. There were a couple of games that the Go did excel in, but it wasn't in a lot of them. Most of them were always with the Ally X. The other thing to note is that depending on the performance profile you play on, you might see little differences. So I tested all three devices at 30 watts, which is their turbo mode. The audio code was 28. I also reduced it to 17 watts, which is more.
いい稽古相手になってくれよ。
フォークを叩い私のお家にいらっしゃいよ。
影を打つ。悪を見極め影を狩り尽くす。
To the Legion Go. One, it does have a metal stand on the back, so if you don't want to use it in your hands, you can prop it up on your desk, take off the controls, and use it that way.
手をつなぎましょう。
The other thing is the Go has two USB 4.0 ports, so you do have a little bit more bandwidth. I also love the fact that one USB port is on the bottom and the other one is at the top. So depending on how you use your device, you have different angles that you can bring in the cable, whereas with the Ally X, you're sort of using it at the top. Now to get internally, there are a few screws on the back to find the Go to be slightly easier to get into. This one you have to fiddle with the cover bit and of course remove the cable. But once you're in, you can see a tiny bit of a difference. You have two fans with the Ally X. These are tiny but thick fans. And of course you have a copper heat pipe running across the middle compared to the single fan on the Legion Go. You do have bigger batteries with the Ally X, 80 watt hours compared to 49. But the biggest difference comes down to the SSD. With the Go, the biggest SSD you can put in here is an M2 2242 SSD, which kind of limits you to the available. They're also slightly more expensive, whereas on the Ally X, 280, slightly cheaper, bigger options, and you just get faster drives overall. Technically, you could do a 2230, but you have to buy some sort of adapter. So here's the thing, Legion Go has come a long way with software updates. It's just a more refined experience. I can finally say this is a good product, but the difference comes down to price. Legion Go is $100 to $150 cheaper than the Ally X, and it depends on what you're doing. Like if you travel a lot and you're away from the outlet a lot, the Ally X is worth it because you're just going to get significantly better battery life. Overall, this product is really
これこそが知恵の伝道。歌え僕の名のもとに。治療し。
So it depends on what you want. Like if you're at home,
装填。
If you're interested in picking any of these up, I'll place links in the description.
Performing experiments on unwitting residents of Soul Society, attempting to verification to see if the barriers between Shinigami and Hollow could truly be broken. When Kisuke Urahara is inducted in as a new captain, all the captains and vice captains will become Vizards for victim to ice and schemes. And despite Urahara's latest attempts to apprehend him,
私のお家にいらっしゃい。お披露目だ。
ようやくは口に見る。
潔白を証明する時だ。影を打つ。
ようやくは口に見るし。
and darkest place as Ichigo struggles against his fate. Escape himself as best fight he can when Ulquiorra reveals a mysterious and unprecedented second release form. He succeeds in killing Ichigo right before Orihime's eyes. As Orihime sobs, Ichigo reawakens.
手をつなぎましょう。知識をあなたにも。光り輝くがいい。じゃじゃーん。治療しないとな。
すぐに直してあげましょう。
悪を見極め影を狩り尽くす。射撃準備。 や
Karakura Town, Yamamoto seals Aizen, and Tozen within a flaming prison as the battles get underway. After the Shinigami defeat the Espadas, the soldiers Kyoraku and Itagi take on the first Espada Stark. Soifon and her vice captain Omaida battle the second Espada Baragon, while Toshiro takes on the third Espada Harumel. Toshiro and Soifon seemingly win their fights using their Bankai, but when reinforcements arrive from Aizen in the form of the strange
薬も毒になる
and a colossal. The battle shifts back into Aizen's favor. As Hakim frees Aizen and Baragon and Harumel are revealed to be unharmed, the battle looks lost. Except suddenly, the visor
世界をの渦に僕を治療しないとな
himself, challenging the rest of the Gote 13 and the Vizars to battle. Seeing his master on the front lines, Tosin challenges Komamura and Hisagi, revealing his own hollow powers. Although Tosin overpowers Komamura, even going so far as to have a release form of his own, Hisagi blindsides and kills his former captain. Back in Waco Mundo, Mayuri creates a game with each
全部丸見えねお披露目だこれこそが知恵の伝道
薬も毒になり得ます。命の重みを知りなさい。
争点
Toshiro to
スティックジャープを借り撃つ
覚えたわよ
薬も毒になり得ます。
治療しないとな
Blast takes the captain commander down. Ichigo challenges Aizen himself, with Aizen revealing that he has controlled every single action Ichigo has made so far, right down to sending Rukia to Karakura Town that fateful night. Aizen also reveals he has embedded the Hogyoku within himself in the hopes of becoming a transcendent being, greater than both Shinigami and Hollow. Ishin arrives, shocking Ichigo, but the two of them set their questions aside for now. Ichigo takes on Gin while his father duels Aizen. As the Hogyoku begins to transform Aizen's body, Urahara and Yoruichi arrive on the scene as well, while Gin activates his Bankai against Ichigo. Aizen begins to evolve thanks to the Hogyoku, while Gin tests Ichigo's resolve. After Aizen defeats Ishin, Urahara and Yoruichi, he and Gin make their way to the real Karakura Town. Ishin takes Ichigo under his wing and together they enter the Dangai, the space between the human world and the Soul Society where time flows more quickly. Ishin proposes Ichigo train within the Dangai to learn the final Getsuga Tensho, perhaps the one move capable of defeating Aizen at the cost of all of Ichigo's Shinigami abilities. Within his inner world, the spirit of Tensa Zangetsu fuses with the mysterious inner hollow, and they battle Ichigo. In the real Karakura Town, Aizen begins killing the civilians before trying to kill Ichigo's friends, but at the 11th hour, he betrays and attempts to assassinate Aizen only to be killed himself. As all hope seems lost, Ichigo returns at last. Having successfully learned the final Getsuga Tensho, Ichigo forces Aizen from Karakura Town and the two battle on the outskirts. Aizen continues to evolve, transforming into an eldritch abomination, but Ichigo activates the final Getsuga Tensho, becoming Getsuga itself, and launches a blast like the Shroud of Night at Aizen. Mugetsu. Although Aizen survives, he is sealed with an Aikido spell, and the battle and the war is finally over. With Aizen sentenced to 20,000 years in prison, Ichigo and the others celebrate their victory. However, Ichigo begins to rapidly lose his powers, and eventually, after saying goodbye to Rukia, loses the ability to see spirits entirely. 17 months have passed since Aizen's defeat. Ichigo, no longer able to see ghosts, lives an ordinary life, with only the memories of his time as a substitute Shinigami. He's got a part-time job, and he's preparing for the end of school. Despite his new normal life, strange occurrences begin happening. Chad hasn't been seen for quite some time, and Uryu is attacked by a mysterious man lurking near Ichigo's house. Ichigo himself meets Ginjo Kugo, a smooth-talking but untrustworthy figure who offers to help Ichigo restore his Shinigami powers. Feeling lost and powerless At the thought of his friends being injured right under his nose, Ichigo agrees to Ginjo's proposal. Ginjo is the head of an organization called Execution, made up of a group of humans with extraordinary abilities known as Fullbringers. Chad is also revealed to be a part of their team, explaining that he is a Fullbringer as well. With the help of Fullbringers Riruka and Gideko, Ichigo completes the first stage.